I want to thank you for being the most wonderful mother-in-law that a daughter-in-law can have. I'm the luckiest woman in the world. And then to have you next door, you bring a lot of fun and laughter to my life.
And aggravation.
And that too, but you know what? You got to take the good with the bad. And like you said, nobody's perfect, okay? But, you know, I get a kick out of some of the things that we've been through. Like when I was making cucciataris. Hey, you come over, you go, what are you doing? And I go, making cucciatari. You go, I'll show you. I said, I already know. I said, do it my grandmother's way. I'm going to roll the dough. You go, no, you go like this. I said, no, I'm not doing that. Do it what you want. I love that. It was my favorite story. I love that one. And, but yet, I want to thank you for giving me that dough recipe for that cookie, which makes it wonderful. So it's both you and my grandmother, and I appreciate that.
And Mom, I just want to thank you for always being there for me. I just can't say I'd be here for hours thanking you for everything you've done for me in my life. All the traditions, the family functions, keeping the family together.
And when we're sick.
Being a great grandmother to my children.
When we're sick and you make us soup. You're always there. You're so wonderful. You're such a great cook. And nobody could cook like you, Ma. No one. And I couldn't ask for a better mother-in-law.
And I couldn't ask for a better mom. Just want to tell you I love you. Happy 80th birthday.
I love you,
and
Mom.
many more to come.
Hi, Nona. It's Nathan. How are you? I just wanted to say happy birthday, and I love you. We all love you. Yes, such good memories of you growing up as a kid. I remember I was the stubborn one. I would never eat what everyone else was eating, so you would always make an exception and make me French toast or grilled cheese. That was good. Also, I would eat it like 3 times a day. And I remember you would make this thing for us with just egg yolks and sugar in a coffee cup, and you would whip it all up, and we would just eat that, whatever it was. I remember liking it, but it was kind of weird. But yeah, I just...
It's called love zucchero.
Is that what it's called? Yes. Okay. And I remember you just always giving us good advice, and always, one thing you would remind me is always do what I want to do. Don't listen to anybody else. Don't let anybody else really influence how I act or do things or what I want to do, and to follow through with what I want to do, which is good advice.
Stick up for you, Nathan?
And you did.
Stick up for you. That's your mom.
You would always stick up for me whenever my mom would yell at me. You would get mad at her and tell her to leave me alone, which was all the time. One really funny thing I thought you did was the way you drive. You would drive like a crazy person. You would drive like a 16-year-old kid that just got his license. You would speed everywhere. And you would always slam on the brakes at the last second. It scared me. I remember sitting in the passenger seat, white-knuckling the handles because I was afraid you're going to crash.
It's so true.
But, yeah, those are a couple things, and some good advice you always gave me, which I probably haven't listened to. I probably should start, is to save my money, which I need to do. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. And just want to say I love you and hope you have a good birthday.
A long story short, I feel like I have so many happy memories of my grandmother, but I think obviously most of them fall with her cooking and just being around her and laughing at all the funny things she says because of her Italian accent. I think that we all get a kick out of it, and sometimes I even like to rile her up just so she'll get a little angry and start swearing at me in Italian. So I have a lot of happy memories with my Nona. A lot of people don't have a grandmother like mine, so like I like to, you know, when I describe her to people, I like to say she has the cutest little accent, and when she calls me, I put her on speakerphone in front of my friends, and I say, listen to how her accent is and how cute she is, and all my friends just think she's the cutest thing ever. And I think Danny feels the same way, because he's more excited to see her when he comes home than he is to see me. I loved when I was a child, and she would make us the whipped eggs with the sugar. We would always ask her that. Cocoa. Is it called cocoa? Yeah, cocoa. she would make the whipped eggs with the sugar, and she'd give us that as kids, and we just loved it. And she would always make the cake and pour the milk on top, and those were literally like our 2 favorite things as kids.
How come I haven't tried these things?
I know. No, we're gonna make them. We're gonna make them for sure. Because we were supposed to make it the other day with Nona, but our plans got derailed. But we're gonna make it with Nona. And yeah, yes, I'm gonna make these for my kids too. That's another amazing thing, is just all these traditions that we had with our grandmother. Like, I can't wait to pass down these recipes and these traditions with my grandchildren as well. And I don't know. There were other things too that I didn't know until I was older. That she used to sneak cow brains in our food when we were young, and we had no idea, because Italians believe.
She only did it to me. She didn't do it to you.
I thought she did.
Oh, I think she did.
I think she probably didn't even tell you.
Oh, she did. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, she probably didn't tell you. Yeah, that, or she would sneak in our food, say it's chicken or something like that. She's just really funny. She taught me a lot of important lessons as well. How to always save money. And how to manage my credit cards. Actually, she was the one that taught me that. To pay it off in full so that you don't have to pay any interest, then you get free points. Yeah, she was the one that actually taught me how to manage my credit card. She just taught me a lot of great things financially, and just with, I don't know, cooking and everything. And she's just a very smart woman. She even taught me how to hide money in the couch or in random places around the house.
So we got money hidden in our couch somewhere? Or? I gotta start looking, huh?
I know. Everything she does and says is funny. There are so many words that she says that are funny. I just like hear her saying. Every time we come over, she says, "Put our coat in the class. Put your coat in the class. Put your coat in the class." Yeah, she takes the last few letters off every word, it seems like sometimes. She doesn't want to finish the word. But the way she says shrimp, too, she says swimp. I don't know. It's just, there's so many good memories. And a lot of people always ask me, and like, I'm proud to come from an Italian family, and I honestly feel like most of that is because of her and every tradition that she's brought onto me. And I'm very proud. I'm like just proud to be her granddaughter. And when people ask me if I know Italian, I said I wish I did, but I only know swear words, and that's because of her. She would always swear at us when we were little kids. She would say, "Fanculo, you fatusa," means "fuck you, you brat." So, I just always thought that she was the funniest one. She just, I don't know. I couldn't have asked for a better grandmother, honestly. Well, everything she cooks is amazing. She could just have something, and she's like my mom. She could just have something in the fridge and just whip it up, put some seasonings on it, whatever it is, put some tomatoes, olive oil, and it just tastes delicious. Like,
and she'll be like, I'll be like, what did you do? And she'll be like, oh, I just took a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and then it comes out like a gourmet meal.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, that's a lot of what I have to say. But what was your perspective of my grandmother coming in and meeting my family 6 years ago? What did you think?
I mean, I don't know, coming in, I think one of the things that was clicked for me and you to begin with was your love for your family, because it felt very similar to how important my family is to me. And so your Italian heritage is very similar to that Latin side of my family, and I feel like it feels familiar and comfortable to me. But yeah, your mom, I mean, I don't know. I mean, your grandma, yeah, I love your mom too. Your grandmother is just a beautiful human. I mean, I could sit there and listen to her talk just because it's so fun. I feel like I understand a lot of the things because it's so similar to Spanish, but just like, I don't know, I love listening to her tell stories. And I mean, of course, yeah, she cooks fantastic. I think my favorite thing that I thought was funny was when a few years ago we were sitting looking at photos at her house, and all the ex-boyfriends of Mary Lou and everyone who are no longer a part of the picture were literally cut out of the picture. So I thought that was hilarious. I'm like, all right, well, I guess it's my goal never to be cut out of the photos. Like, I gotta, it'll be hard to get edited out of this video, but that's not my plan. So no, but I mean, I don't know. I could say a bunch of wonderful things about her. I mean, you could just tell she's the matriarch of this family, and she's just very sweet. She's, I mean, I don't know. I know she loves you and adores you, and you know, every time we plan on coming to Buffalo, we're like, wait, you're gonna be here, right? Because if you're down in Florida, maybe we'll postpone and come later on, you know. But yeah, you know, I truly love her. I mean, she's an amazing woman. So, and it's incredible to see that she brought her family here. I remember she was telling me when we went to Rand, I was sitting in the car with her, and she was telling me the story of how, like, she, you know, when she first came here and started the tile business with your dad, and like, I don't know, it's just amazing. You know, that generation of people are so strong. They come here and they leave everything they know and come here and start over and build all this, and to see, you know, where your whole family is at, it's a beautiful thing. So happy birthday, Nona. I love you.
Happy birthday, Nona. We love you.
Hello, everyone. First and foremost, I like to say happy 80th birthday to Melina. As you know, Melina and I were born in Italy. We used to get together 2 or 3 times a week to play cards or tell stories. Also on every holiday, Christmas, Easter, and New Year's. There was no Thanksgiving in Italy because there was no pilgrims or Indians. When I left Italy to come here, Melina followed after 7 years. A short time after that, she met Mario. After they got married, she invited my family often for dinner. What comes to mind here is that she made homemade pasta, especially my favorite, ravioli. She also made delicious pizza and gnocchi. Best memory I have on Melina is that she was always there when I needed her, when I needed a favor. Best advice that Melina used to give me: decide what you want in life and go after it, and never get discouraged. I also like to mention Melina's favorite saying, "Give me conti, è fiducia." Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful birthday, and may God bless you with many, many more. Thank you.
Well, Mom, we always said we should write a book about you. Well, here it is. It's the story of you, from each and every one of us, our own versions of you, how you've touched all of our lives in so many ways. Anyways, when I think about you, Mom, I think about just how lucky and blessed I am to have you in my life. You're my biggest cheerleader when I'm down and need help, and you've always been there to support me in each and everything I've done, whether it's good or bad. And believe me, when it's bad, you've always told me and put me in my place, and there's never a quiet time that you're not telling me exactly what I'm doing right or wrong. And that's what I love about you. There's not a single soul in the world that I trust more to be honest with me and just tell me the truth, even if it hurts. And I know you'll always have my back, and I am who I am today because of your love, support, guidance, care, everything you've given me throughout the years and continue to do so. But they say that little things come in big packages, and boy, they certainly broke the mold when they made you. You are such a strong, confident little person that no one should ever mess with. I remember the first time I truly, truly realized just what a superwoman you were. When you marched right into a store called The Limited, way back when I was 20 years old, and at the time John bought me about $400 worth of merchandise, and they accused me of stealing because I just simply went in there with the merchandise to just exchange sizes and stuff. And when I got home, I was like, Mom, can you believe just because I went in there with my clothes, they were trying to tell me I stole from them, et cetera, et cetera? You said, what? You packed everything up, you put me in the car, you marched me down there. The store probably had 100 people in there, and you said, come on, let's go. March right in front of the whole line. People are like looking at you like, who's this woman? Plopped 5 bags of clothes right on there and said, give my daughter all her money back. You accuse my daughter of stealing. I want all her money to be returned. And I just looked at you like, who is this person? So that just was just amazing to me, how you had no fear. You just always just did what you had to do and just never, ever, ever look back. And from that day on, when I walked out of that store, I said, wow, she could do anything. So to this day, I seriously, anytime I have a hard time returning something, you know, I'll say, I'll call Nona, she'll do it. And I'll say, Nona, do you believe that National Fuel won't give me a credit for Give me the number, I call for you.
I call.
Yep. Jeremy knows, he's there all the time. There's so many great lessons that you've taught me in my life. I mean, I could sit here forever. A big one was never to be jealous. Jealousy is a terrible, terrible thing. And that to be grateful for what you have, pay it forward, good things will come to you. Always keep yourself, you know, keep yourself, take care of yourself first, because if you don't take care of yourself, then you can't take care of Jeremy. But the best advice I can honestly say that you've given me through the years was financial advice. You've always given me the best financial advice ever since I was little, and I don't think I'd be here today unless I listened to everything that you told me. You've told me always to put money aside, to pay down your credit cards, invest in property. I've done every one of those things, and I am where I am today because of you and what you've told me to do. And honestly, there's probably still not a purchase that I make that I don't call my mother, even at 80 years old, and say, Mom, what do you think if I'm going to buy this condo in Florida? Or what do you think? What should I do? And I still ask Nona to this day.
Every time.
Every time. Yep, he knows. So some of my favorite holiday traditions, right, Jeremy? We've got many that I can't pass on to you because I'm not the cook in the family. We all know that. That's Aunt Lulu and Uncle Pat, right? Yeah. But some of my favorite holiday traditions are, of course, the Feast of the Seven Fishes. I mean, that's my favorite, Christmas Eve. And I know that that's really Dad's tradition from Italy, but you made it ours in our family. I remember growing up the night before a holiday and all hell would break loose because, of course, the dining room table had to be perfect. You know, we had to have every single silverware out, every single glass, everything had to be pointing a certain way, perfect. The napkin had to be perfect. You know how Nona is, right? Mm-hmm. All those little things that Nona has done. Thank you, Mom. Thank you for being the strong, independent woman that you are who insisted on getting on that plane at 18 years old and coming to America, the modern country, and never wanting to leave. We love you, and we are so blessed to have you. Happy 80th, Mom. Wishing you many more to come because you are the best. My heart is full, and it's because of you. Love to you, Mom, from your Bella de Mondo.
Birthday to birthday to birthday to Melina. Birthday to you. Happy birthday, Melina. Sei sempre bella. Mi ricordo a te sempre che eri bella. We all love you per sempre. A hope che vai buona con la salute. Ti senti sempre meglio. Okay? Love you? Yeah. Okay, then. Happy birthday.
Well, it's a never dull moment with Nona, whether she's babysitting you when you're young or having an argument with her friends or yelling at the people on the phone asking her for car payments. It never ends. It's a soap opera. It's always a good time. I remember the one day the alarm went off at the house and the alarm people kept trying to call her. And she yelled at them saying, "You're trying to scam me for my car and my money and this. I know doing nothing. Goodbye." She kept hanging up on them. And so they eventually called my mom and she resolved the issue, but she's just how she is. I remember the one time she forgot, she always, when she puts something in the microwave, never puts a certain time. She just presses a bunch of random buttons and takes it out when she wants. Well, the one day she forgot and she went over to Pasquale's house to see what was going on. They came back and the whole house was filled with smoke. And they couldn't figure out what it was. She goes, "Oh no, something's a-burning." So they're running around the house trying to figure out what it was. She left some bread in the microwave to defrost and forgot about it. And it was burned to ashes. There was nothing left of it. But of course she called the firefighters and that. And Uncle Pat said, "We don't need no firefighters," so they sent the police because they saw it was this whole big robbery and this and that, and they had everyone there, and then they all left because Nona goes, "Nope, we just burned bread." Always a good cook. Never bad food. I like the chicken cutlets all the time, and especially the yolks. The yolks are delicious.
What's the best advice Nona gave you? Well, you're in high school now,
Yeah.
so what does she tell you about friends and girls?
Always make sure you hang out with the good people in high school, never the bad ones. Stay away from them because it's always going to get you into more trouble.
What's your favorite holiday tradition Nona has taught you through the years?
I love all the holidays.
I know.
It's never dull when you have an Italian family at the holidays. So,
What's a funny thing that Nona says or does?
geez, she has a lot of funny sayings. As Kiki said, she always shortens every word. So it's always some sort of Italian knockoff of a word. She always says, Gesù Cristo mio, fanculo mamma da fige, and Fittuso, and facitosto, and bugiardo. Bugiardo. Yep.
That's Jeremy's a big bugiardo.
The way she does it,
Great.
How does she do it?
Oh, so many. Grandpa Don, you know who Bujir is?
Never heard of it.
No. That was another funny time. We were at a restaurant, and Nona called me Bugiardo, and Grandpa Don goes, who's Bujir? Who's Bujir? I've never heard of Bujir. That was another funny one.
Because Jeremy was basically, as she says, you're always telling a lie, so she calls him a bugiardo. Well, happy 80th, Don. We love you.
Happy 80th, Nona. Love you, and hope you have a great birthday.
Italiano. Yeah. Say pasta. Say we love you, Nona. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
You're the best.
Daughter.
No, not. She's my grandmother. She's Daddy's grandmother.
I remember the one day, me, Grandpa Don, and Nona were driving down a road. And it's this big road. There's this big dip and then up and then down again. So these guys were doing construction work and they had a big orange sign, slow down. But of course Nona ignored that and she kept flying down the hill. We're going down the hill and the guys, the construction workers look at us and they all go running into their truck because they don't think she's going to slow down. Grandpa Don's going, Melina, slow down. She goes, oh, no, I know what I'm doing. I got to get home. Well, she slows down at the last second, and they're all hiding in the truck, and Grandpa Don goes, I don't know why you need to drive like a race car driver. We're not racing anyone. We're just getting home. She goes, shut up. I know how to drive. What do you think about when Nona comes to mind?
Food.
Food? What kind of food?
Italian.
Italian food. What's your favorite food she makes? Spaghetti. You like spaghetti?
It's the only one.
What are the funny things you say about Nona?
I don't know if they say anything funny about her.
What about the duck's ass in a windstorm?
That's not funny.
Yeah, it is. The duck's ass in the windstorm.
It's true.
If you can name 3 things you think of every time you think of Nona, what would they be?
Cheap.
What do you say? I didn't hear it.
What else?
Well, she's a good cook. And nosy.
Nosy.
How cute she is. How cute she is.
Oh, she's cute.
And how loving she is.
She's a good person.
There you go. She's a very good person.
What are the 3 most favorite foods that Nona makes?
Breakfast.
Yeah.
Lunch and dinner.
That's a good one.
Lunch. And supper.
Supper. What is the best memory you have of Nona and you?
Oh boy, there's a lot.
Name one.
I can't, we're being photographed.
Remember when you guys went to the buffet?
Which one?
The Golden Corral.
Oh yeah.
The one lady blew her nose like a trombone and Nona, you mocked her out and you and Nona started laughing.
Yeah.
That was a funny one.
That was something.
What is the best advice that Nona has given you?
Oh, what? She's a smart lady.
Yeah? What's some advice she's given you?
I give her advice. She don't give me advice.
What are the best holidays traditions Nona has shown you?
It's all Italian.
All Italian? What about Christmas?
Same thing.
Same thing? For every holiday, same thing?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's Italian's better.
Italian's better. Well, what goes on during the holidays when everyone's around?
Well, she feeds everybody.
Yeah. Always a big commotion, a lot of pressure?
Yeah, she's used to that.
Yep. A lot of pressure. You say a lot of pressure?
There is a lot of pressure.
Yep. What is one of the funniest things Nona says or does?
Well, I don't want to go into them all. Happy 80th, Melina. I love you.
And then hey, happy 80th birthday. I hope you have a great day, and I love you. All right, love you so much. Bye.
I'd say the most important lesson you taught me was to be very strong. Like no matter what you're going through or whatever in life gets you down, you were always a person that was like, don't ever, you know, like, okay, I'll give you an example. Like if something happened in school or with a relationship, you were always the first one to say like, don't ever make somebody make you feel that way. You're so much better than that. You deserve so much better. And you were the person that really like picked us up, not just me, but I feel like my kids and my brother and my sister. You were the person that was always like there to like make us feel better, you know. And Don too. Don was there a lot for our talks and things like that. And you were just always that way to really like make even as down as we ever were. Yeah. And so I guess the second lesson you taught me was sacrifice. So you definitely sacrificed a lot. And as I grew older, I realized, like, I don't think as a child or teenager, you really realize what your parent does for you. You don't really understand it until you're a parent yourself and you go through all those motions. But I think that you definitely taught me to sacrifice, to work hard so I could give my kids everything they needed. And that's what you did. Like, you were the one in the family that really, like, fought to have things for your kids and sacrificed a lot to have things for your kids. I mean, I remember when we were younger, like one Easter you made all of our clothes. You made our clothes not because you loved sewing that much, but because, you know, you knew you could make them for a lot less and then you'd spend money on something else that the house needed or whatever it was. So you really learned how to sacrifice your time. You stayed up late many nights, 2, 3 in the morning, I remember, cooking, cleaning, doing what you had to do so that everybody's needs were met. So it was really your savviness and your sacrifice for your kids that really got us to where we are. And I think I try to model that for my own kids. I try to, and I've tried to do as much as I could for my own kids, almost to a fault, almost to fault in that, you know, I'm first generation American. We looked at you and respected you because you were first generation. You came here, you didn't even read or speak English and everything, and you learned it all. You went to my schools. I remember going to school for plays and different things like that, and you were the one that was always there to make sure that your kids had what all the other kids had and were doing the right thing. And we all kind of model ourselves after you. You're a strong woman who always put family first. And you left your country, you left your father, your sisters for love. You know, you met Dad, you fell in love, you started a family, and you just really dedicated yourself to being that parent. And a lot of things I think about when I think of you and my friends, we always say how adorable you are and how cute you are. Your fashion sense, you're a very classy person. You dress so nice. You always make sure that we looked really nice wherever we went. That was a huge thing. That was really important. It was important to Nona Fred. The 3 things I think of Mom, are like how, basically, like what I said earlier, like how you helped me in life. You helped me to be a better person, to be better with my finances, to help me with cooking and basically how you sacrifice yourself so much. Also, the favorite foods that you make. So I've got some different ones. So I like your gâteau. I love, yeah, I love your gâteau. I love your homemade pastas. With the potatoes, with the ham and the eggs. I love that. And yeah, I love that. And I also love, one of my favorite things is your marinara sauce, which is pretty amazing. And those are some really cool things. Like what Pat does is what you've taught us, like traditionally, to make food from scratch and not to buy like processed foods and things like that. So I think it's just really healthy. I think that's a really great thing. But the main thing too is what you guys taught us was like what's in season, what's in harvest. So, you know, many of my fondest memories are when, you know, you'd come home with a bushel of eggplant and you would marinate some eggplant. You would do baked eggplant. You guys both definitely followed that, brought the Italian traditions here and taught us the Italian traditions. One of my favorite memories with you, well, there's a couple of them, but some of the funny ones, I'll give you a funny one. This is definitely an ism, but I've done it too. When you dropped me off at dance and like you came to pick me up like after like the place I think was like closing, and I think I was standing there with the dance instructor for about 25 minutes because you were notoriously late for things sometimes, which was actually kind of funny. But some of my favorite memories of you were with you were again like you're going to my high school or going to my to junior high and like supporting me and being there for me as a kid, and just like hanging out with you in the house and just getting ready for the holidays, which are really, really, really wonderful. But some of the best advice that you've given me, wow, you've given me a lot of really great advice. Number one is just like the best advice you gave to us was always to pick up your head and to be strong no matter what life throws at you, what diversities came into life. You always taught us to be like really strong and to be really loving. And you also taught us to be like family orientated, family first. And you really, really, really just didn't say it. You lived it. You had your family over on the weekends. We cooked together. We hung out together. You, no matter how much work it was, you would do it. Like you would do it for the kids, just like for them to have that close-knit relationships with their extended family. And I realized later in life that most people don't do that because they just don't have that drive like you did. Like people are, you know, can be a little lazy and they don't want to cook and clean the house. And you were the one that like, no matter how hard, even if you had to stay up till 2 in the morning, you would make sure when we woke up the next day that the house was spotless and, you know, we'd start that next day again. And another thing you really taught us was to really be careful with money. Not that I always listened. I didn't all the time. I wish I listened more. But you always told us to be like careful with money and to like, oh yeah, to be really careful with money and to, that the only way to really get ahead is to make sacrifices like cook homemade food and not go out to restaurants a lot when we were younger, and just save money. Some of our best holiday traditions, I would say, would be how you guys would start like weeks in advance. And the best memories were like when you'd always have our cousins over and our aunts over, Aunt Beach over, and you always had everybody over to help cook, like you'd prepare. And I remember like before the holidays, it was 4 or 5 days, even a week before the holidays where you were making cookies or pizzelles or cookies in different sauces and just preparing for the holidays. Then 2 days before, you'd get the dining room table set. Like you really did it right. And a lot of people didn't do that. You did, and you did it all. And that was, I want to thank you for that because that was really nice. And I'd like to try to do the same for my family. And I think I do a lot of the same things. I think we all try to bring a little bit of what you've taught us to our own homes. Some of the things, I loved how we would get together on Sundays and go to the park, and you would make food and we'd go to the park and Chestnut Ridge with the other cousins, our extended families. I loved how you always had Aunt Beachy over. You always brought family in. I loved, okay, another thing too, some of the funniest things that you've done, well, you're driving. Some of the other funny things that you do, just your personality and how carefree you are and how cute you are, and how you don't even realize you're being funny, I think is the funniest thing. You don't even realize you're being funny, and you are. One of the funniest things, one of the funniest stories I tell people, and they all laugh to this day, is it was Don's 80th birthday. I'll never forget because I couldn't go anywhere. I was already at the, where was it at? Was Don's birthday? It was at the, oh, it lit up, see? At the country club. So we were waiting for you to get there with Don and his brother, and I was dressed. I thought I looked great, and we're all like, happy birthday, Don. Everybody walked in, happy birthday. Hi. And then, like, you know, 5 minutes goes around and you come up to me like, hi. And you looked like this. You went, where'd you get that dress? And I said,
I don't remember what dress she had.
I said, she goes, can you return it? And I said, yes, why? And you said, oh, return it. It doesn't make you look 10 pounds heavier, not 20, not 30. But you look 100 pounds heavier. Make sure you return it tomorrow. And I was like,
oh my God.
I had nowhere to go. I was stuck there the rest of the night.
Get up off of the table.
No. So anyway, but that's another thing, another funny thing too about you is you will say it like it is, brutally honest. And I think as a teenager, you tend to fight that because you don't want to always believe what your mom's saying. And you always said to me, you know, you like that dress? You like that? I go, yeah. Why? What's wrong with it? Oh, what? What do your girlfriends tell you? It looks good. Well, I'm your mother, and that is not your favorite outfit. Don't wear that again. And you really were honest, and I think that was actually pretty good. So some of the funniest memories were when I didn't even realize that people slept in on Saturdays till like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, because you always came in our bedroom and woke us up to do the cleaning. Oh my God. And we'd have to clean all day long, which honestly, that was the right thing to do. And it was really cool. It was like, you play the Italian songs, and you'd sing around the house. And that was like one of my best memories, when you would sing all the time. And you still do, and you still know all the songs. You would sing and clean, and it was just wonderful. It was like really, now looking back, those are like the fun, good times.
She made it fun.
She made it fun. And I have to tell you how much that I love you so much, and that I want to thank you so much for taking care of my kids and helping me when my kids were young, because you did a lot. You babysat them, you'd cook for me, you would clean for me, and I know I've told you how much I appreciate that, but I really want you to know that I truly understand what a blessing that you have been in my life, and how difficult that was for you, because not only did you help me with my house, you'd go home and clean at your house too. So you really, really, really did as much as you could for us. And I want to thank you for that and tell you I love you. And what's a funny, happy 80th. And what's a funny ism that Mom would do?
I mean, there's so many funny things, but I think the one thing that just listening to you talk, what stuck out to me the most that like you said, I don't think a lot of people understand is sacrifice, which I feel like a lot of times I've had to sacrifice certain things, or you pushed me to do a certain thing because you knew the outcome would be tremendous and it was all worth it. And I think that's very hard. Yeah, when I was crying, I was homesick, crying, I didn't want to come home from school. She's like, Trust, no, you gotta say, you forced me to stay. And I feel like you got that from Nona, because I think you knew ultimately in the end that I would be making a mistake if I came home. And the same thing with Ski Club. It's just like, I guess just always sticking to something and finishing it through. Like, you don't want to always just cop out and just give up. We're not those type of people to just give up, and I think that's because of her.
And I also want to say something too. I love when you would tell us your stories about your life growing up. I just feel like we have such an advantage because we're first generation American here. And I think a lot of people aren't that in touch with their roots as far as where they come from. And I really feel that we are, because you would take us to Italy when we were younger. And I loved that. And I've made some friendships and bonded with my cousins in Italy because of that. And I think that that's extra special that we have that. don't you think?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm so blessed. Yeah. I'm so fortunate to say I have family in Italy that we can go and visit and they'll
stay with. Yeah.
I know my mom and I know Nona, and I know she's the woman she is today because of Nona, and the entire family is who they are because of Nona and Papa, but you know, the women especially, the women take after her a lot, so it's a good thing.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay, happy 80th, Nona, we love
happy
you.
Happy 80th, we love you.
Happy birthday, Nona. Hi, Melina. Today is your day. Special day. Celebrating a special birthday for a special lady. We share so many memories, so many wonderful moments. But there's one that I like to share with you. I probably never did or never told you, but here it goes. 60 somewhat years ago, when you came to live with us, I was so excited. I was getting a big sister, and I love having you there. We had such great times in that house in Newark, except when you used to drag me walking down South Orange Avenue every night after dinner. I hated walking. I hated it. I still hate it now. But you loved to walk. I had no one else to walk with but me. But we got so close, and I loved having you living with us. And then came the day when you went off to Buffalo, and the next thing I knew, you were engaged to be married. And I thought I lost you forever. I was so sad and actually jealous of the man who was taking you away from me. But that wasn't the case. I was young and stupid. You didn't let that happen. You had a beautiful wedding. I was in it, of course. And you continue to be in touch. My summers in Buffalo, some of the best childhood memories are my summers in Buffalo, staying with you. Never forgot those. And then there was advice that you always give me as time went on. And one of the things that you said to me, and I never forgot that, was when I was getting a divorce, and you'd call me all the time, talk me through, giving me advice. But the one thing that just comes to mind, I was so attached to my home, I didn't want to give it up. And you said to me, a house is just 4 walls. Don't ever get attached to walls. That's all it is. Well, I never forgot that. And you're so right. It was a house with walls. And it's easier for me to give up then, because I listened to you. And I listened to you with a lot of advice that you had given me in the past. But anyway, I wanted to share that little story with you. And I wanted to tell you how much I love you. And I am so excited that I am looking forward to spending your special day and be a part of your special day. You are beautiful. And I love you so much. Happy birthday, Melina. You are forever young. I'll see you soon.
Hello, Mama. I just wanted to stop in and say hi and leave you a birthday message. I'm here with your beautiful daughter and a bunch of dogs. I just wanted to reminisce. It was almost 7 years ago today that me and Mary Lou met. And I came here on our second date to pick her up, and the whole family was here. Surprise, surprise. I thought it was going to be just Mary Lou. And I'm sure it was kind of a first going over for me. And I guess I passed the test. But when I met you, I just felt so comfortable and so warm and welcomed by you. And that kind of set the tone for the whole relationship we had. I realized quickly that family was so important to you. And I think that's so special because you do have such a wonderful family. You should be very happy and proud with the children you raised. They have great morals, they have great work ethics, they're just wonderful people, and this one especially. And they're passing down these traits to their children too, which is really a wonderful thing. Your family's wonderful, and it's very often based around gatherings and food, and the food is always wonderful, and there's always way too much of it, right?
Yes.
Yes. I remember a while ago, you made me one of my favorite dishes, the pasta con funghi. Yes. Right? And it was so, so good. And the other thing you made for me that I thought was really, really good were the fried zucchini blossoms, which I'd never had before. Those were really, really good. And then, speaking of food, I love, you're supposed to make me another dish that I missed the last time. It was a pasta and shrimp thing, I think. And that reminds me that, you know, you learn how to say shrimp instead of swimp. But I do love your accent, and I think you should go back to swimp. Right? I just love it. I don't think you should try to work on it. I think your accent's beautiful the way it is. The best thing I think I've ever heard you say in Italian, well, not in Italian, but English / Italian is Facebook. You said, Mary Lou, I don't care about Facebook. And also the black pepper is good too.
But she does like the Facebook.
She likes the Facebook, but she, you know, that was cute the way she says it, so I love that. And I just want you to know I love your daughter more than anything in the world, and I just want to make her happy, and hopefully I can do that. Lastly, I also want to say thank you for welcoming my children into the family too. As you know, they only have one grandfather, and he's in Florida, so they don't get to spend much time with him, and they really don't know him. And I think it's wonderful that they have a Nona here that they can come, and they adore you. They love being with you and the whole family. Mary Lou, do you have anything else you wanted to say? Because
I think I just wanted to say, like, I know that my mom, she does adore you. She does like you a lot, and she's expressed it to me. And, well, Mom, aren't you happy I'm finally in a nice relationship?
It took us both a couple of marriages to get to this point, you know. Yeah. And, you know, I did tell Mary Lou, the only regret is that we didn't meet younger and were able to have kids together, because they probably would have been pretty good kids, I'd imagine. Yeah. Yeah. You know. So that's the regret. So other than that, I just wanted to say, buon compleanno.
Buon compleanno.
Buon compleanno. Happy birthday. And remember, 80 is just a number. You are, your biological age might be 80, but your real age is much, much younger. And many more. Okay, Mama? Ciao.
Ciao.
No, this is, you know, it's a little different for us videoing this for you. It's difficult. Leave this out here. They can edit if they want. But I love you more than anything. You're the best grandmother. You've been a huge part of my life ever since I was born. And I would never, I mean, you're just the best grandma anyone could ever ask for, I can ever ask for. Happy birthday. Love you so much. Okay, Lacey?
Happy birthday, Nona. Hope you have a great year. The true matriarch of the Argenteri family, who always shows so much love and kindness to all those around her. It's been an honor to know you these last couple years. And we love you so much. Happy birthday.
Love you, Nona.
Sì?
Sì.
Può domandare, sì.
Habla, no te preocupes.
In italiano? Okay. Sì, sì.
Vittorio, ma tu non parli italiano?
In italiano, sì, se hablas in italiano. Sì, parlo qualche cosa, sì.
Ok, se tu vuoi parli in italiano o in spagnolo come vuoi, raccontagli qualcosa a Milena.
¿Hablas en italiano o en español? Io parlo in italiano e parlo in spagnolo.
Ok, Milena parla italiano, quindi parlagli in italiano. Raccontagli qualche storia di Milena.
Una storia. In Italia, una storia? Yeah. Sono 49 anni che nell'anno 49 che sono qua.
Ok, raccontali questa storia, digli sono 49 anni che sono in Argentina, raccontali questa storia.
Dijo que cuentes la historia.
La storia, eravamo piccolini quando siamo venuti qua noi. Io avevo 11 anni. Ha capito?
Sì, sì.
Dale, che sì.
E poi?
Sì, io sono venuto con la mia mamma qua perché era piccolo.
Sì.
Dopo della guerra. Chi è che la...
Cuéntale, non ti preoccupare.
Sì, allo 14 anni ho cominciato a lavorare. Allo 14 anni ho cominciato a lavorare.
Ma tu l'hai rivista Milena qualche volta o no? ¿Tú la miraste Milena otra vez o no la miraste más de cuando era pequeño?
No, non sono andato più.
No? ¿Y para el teléfono?
No.
So we'll just say Luna, thank you.
You tell me 49 years you don't see Milena. It's 49
No, that's not true. I went there when I was 16, 15 years ago.
You
20
what?
years ago.
Ascolta,
Me están diciendo que 15 años atrás tú la miraste, Milena. ¿Cómo no?
No.
15 años atrás.
Luna, just say, buon compleanno.
Ya la tenía.
Sì, che l'ho visto. 15 anni dietro sì, l'ho visto.
Ah, ok.
So, grazie.
Grazie. Dile solo buon compleanno y decir.
Okay, so can we end it and say hi? Yeah.
Ok. Check más la cámara si no se mueve todo. Esté perfecto así como estás.
We're gonna see you.
Okay.
Anytime.
Okay, time to talk.
Ok, cuando quiere puede comenzar.
Feliz cumple de acá de Argentina, te deseamos lo mejor, pasala genial. Vamos a decirle feliz cumple, dale.
Feliz cumple.
Feliz cumple, pásala genial. De Argentina.
Ask him if there's all I want to say.
Yeah.
Ask him, tell him to say a story about her.
Oh, ¿cómo se llama? ¿Victorio?
Oh, Victoria.
Victorio, te van a preguntar si puede hablar de una historia de tú que conoces Milena, si puede hablar de una historia de ella del pasado.
Ciao Melina! Sei arrivata al traguardo degli 80 anni! Sei una giovincella ancora! Tanti auguri, di cuore! Allora, mia cara sorellina, io ti voglio leggere una lettera. Attenzione. Mia carissima Melina, tu sei la sorella che ognuno vorrebbe avere e io sono stata fortunata a poterti avere accanto. Mi passi un po' di anni e quando io ero piccola tu eri già adolescente, ma nonostante ciò ci volevamo un bene dell'anima. La nostra vita in quegli anni è stata molto bella e serena. Ti ricordi? Melina, i nostri genitori non navigavano nell'oro, ma non ci hanno mai fatto mancare niente, perché c'era tanto amore che ci teneva tutti uniti. Tu per me sei stata molto importante, dato che essendo la più grande, io ti vedevo come esempio. Ero una bellissima ragazza, tanto che a San Ferdinando, il nostro paese, ti chiamavano la reginetta. Però ti hai fatto una sorpresa. Appena hai raggiunto la maggiore età, che allora era a 21 anni, ti è venuta la voglia di andare in America. Mi racconti sempre che ti sei confidata con nonna Concetta e ti disse: figlia, se ti senti questo desiderio, vai.
In America c'erano i fratelli e la sorella bice di papà, ma quello che ti ha accolta e fatta da secondo padre è stato zio Peppino. Quello. Poco dopo hai conosciuto Mario e ti sei sposata. Hai avuto 3 figli meravigliosi che ti hanno dato tanti nipoti e i loro figli adesso ti hanno dato anche dei pronipoti che ti amano e ti rispettano tutti in modo esagerato, perché tu lo meriti. Passano un po' di anni e anche io mi sono sposata con Natale e tu hai voluto che venissimo in luna di miele a Buffalo da te. Lì abbiamo vissuto la favola più bella della nostra vita. Tu ci hai organizzato una bellissima festa di matrimonio. Indimenticabile. Hai invitato tanti parenti e amici e ci siamo divertiti tutti come dei matti, sì, sino al mattino. Cara Melina, ancora oggi è Natale, ti ringraziamo per tutto quello che hai fatto per noi in quel mese di maggio del 1974. Al tuo fianco da tanti anni c'è tuo marito Dan, che ti ha sempre rispettata e amata. Ti auguro ogni bene e che il Signore ti dia sempre la salute e non ti faccia soffrire per i tuoi dolori alle ossa. Ti mando un augurio immenso per il tuo 80° compleanno. Con tutto il mio cuore, un abbraccio e tanti baci da tua sorella Luisa.
Tanti auguri, zietta!
Auguri!
Ti vogliamo bene!
Auguri!
Ti vogliamo bene!
Vorrei essere lì anche io, ma purtroppo per tutto quello che succede nel mondo questo non è possibile.
Speriamo di vederci presto.
Ti voglio bene. Ciao.
Well, first thing I think about when I think of my grandmother is probably the food. My grandmother's always been an outstanding cook, and I can remember from the time I was little going to her house and eating dinner or eating lunch over. She used to make us these hard-boiled eggs, and she'd cut up toast and dip the toast. We dipped the toast in there when we were little. You know, going there in high school, once I got my license, the first couple of things I did was go to my grandmother's house for dinner on Fridays. Might sound dorky, but that's what I did, and Saturday nights. My grandmother, you know, she's a very kind person. She's always thinking of others. She's always putting others first. One of my fondest memories is when my grandmother and Sharon took us to Florida, my brother and I. That was a trip. I mean, the two of us found it very entertaining watching them argue the whole time and, you know, go back and forth. And they still do it to this day, Sharon and my grandmother. You know, the constant bickering. But it was just all day, every day with them. And I think at one point Sharon ditched us for 6 hours. And then we got a hold of her and she came back and they made up and all this. But it was a lot of fun, you know, going to Florida for 4 days, Disney World, when we were little. When I introduced her to my wife, she has a funny story.
Yes. One of the first times I met Nona, I went to her house for dinner, and it was a large family dinner. And I walked in and I was kind of nervous, and one of the first things Mario said was, "This is Ashley, she really doesn't like to eat pasta." And I wanted to crawl under the table. I was like, oh my goodness, this lady's not gonna like me, that's so offensive. And she's just so kind and so warm-hearted that the next time I went to her house for dinner, she pulled me to the side and she said, "Ashley, I know you don't like to eat much pasta. I made this for you." And she had made something extra special just for me. And it was just so sweet and such a testament to her personality and how she makes everyone feel at home, whether you're family or not.
That's very true.
Also about Nona, I unfortunately don't have either of my grandparents left, and since I met Nona, she's really become like another grandmother to me. We've had a lot of great talks together, a lot of fun times just sort of sitting at her kitchen island chatting or sitting on her back porch chatting. She's an open book, and I think if you really listen to some of her stories and things she has to say, you can apply it into your own life and take some of her advice and really run with it.
Nona, I want to tell you thank you for letting me borrow your white Mustang my senior year of high school. I had a lot of fun. You looked awesome in that car. I also want to let you know I always appreciate your kind words and the wisdom you instilled in me for all these years. I want to thank you for all the wisdom you've given me over the past 36 years. What I thought was preaching when I was younger actually turned out to be a lot of good information. One thing you told me was that when I get married, to marry somebody strong and smart and beautiful, and that's what I did. That's one of the things I took good advice from you on. Nona, we just want to say happy 80th birthday from me, Ashley, and your great-grandson to be.
Happy birthday, Nona.
I love you very much.
Everything, Mom. How did you find the energy, Mom, to do all the things you did? To be a teacher, nurse, and counselor to us when we were kids. How did you do it all, Mom? Be a chauffeur, cook, and friend, yet find time to be a playmate we just cannot comprehend. We see now it was love, Mom, that made you come whenever we'd call. Your inexhaustible love, Mom, and we thank you for it all.